Hello, hello. Let me know if the audio is okay. I'm actually trying a different microphone today, so hopefully you guys can hear me all right. Um, but let me know. You guys know the drill. First thing, comments today say, "Oh, hey, Nina, good to see you. Good to see you." So, can you hear me okay? Let me know if you can hear me okay. I'm trying a different microphone. My coach was teasing me about the audio quality, so we'll see if it's a little bit better now. But thank you. Hey, hey. All right, so the comments are always a little bit delayed, so I'm just pausing to see if the audio is okay, if you guys are able to hear me all right. Appreciate it. And I am really bummed that I missed last week, but it was for a very good reason, and some awesome things were happening. Oh, perfect. She said yes. Okay. So some awesome things were happening, and I was just, emotions, when you have really, really high emotions or really, really low emotions, they're really draining. And so last week I had some amazing stuff, and I just was like, I need to just marinate and just chill out. One of the other things, oh, thank you for letting me know. One of the other things is that I am contemplating moving my live stream days to a different day of the week. So I am curious. Oh, perfect. Thank you for the reminder, Asia. I want to find out from you guys what day of the week works best. So those of you watching the replay, please still comment. But I'm curious to see what day of the week works best. Thursday won't work because obviously I have something that I do Thursday nights, which I'm going to announce in just a second. But let me know what other date would work well because I'm considering not doing a Sunday night show anymore. Okay? All right, so let me get into these comments. As you guys know, I'm going to shout out the people who are here first, and then once a few minutes go by, we're going to get right into the show. Shout out to Tina. Well, I'm going off your name here. Nina, who is the first person in the comments. So, woohoo, shout out to you, first one here. And Asia has a question that I'll be answering in just a little bit. And darling, if I get distracted and I forget, just remind me. Actually, I'll try to put a little note at the end to remind you to tell me, because I did ask you to tell me live so that I can remember. Okay. All right, y'all. So, I want to do an apology because yesterday was my virtual event. Those of you watching on the live, let me know if you were one of the ones watching yesterday. I was so diligent to send out an email. I set up the link ahead of time. I sent out reminders. And then I accidentally clicked one wrong button and caused this huge snowball event technically on the technical side. And it was a disaster. So the link, I couldn't use that link anymore. There was a lot of confusion, but a lot of people still found me, which was really refreshing. And we had an awesome time. You guys, we went for 7 hours. 7 hours, and we still could have kept going. Actually, two people, one other person, I ended up chopping it up after for 2 more hours after that, for a total of 9 hours. But the live went 7 hours. So it was a meet and greet, a virtual meet and greet. I wanted a chance to get to know those of you who are watching the content week to week. And normally I'm staring at my computer or my camera, and it's not very personal. And you can only say so much in a comment on a YouTube or an Instagram. So it was an opportunity for me to get to know you guys better. And boy, did I get to know you guys. It was so, so cool. So cool, in fact, that I was telling them I want to do it on a regular basis. So I'm leaning towards doing it once a month. The first, well, right now it's on Sundays, but the first Sunday of the month, having people come on and share, because it was powerful, powerful, powerful stuff. We got Columbus, Ohio. Okay, so I didn't watch the game. I don't know any of the scores. So is the game still going on, one? And if it's not, who won? I'm curious to see how mad my friends are going to be or not. I guess I could just Google it. But all right, so we're going to get into this, guys. Oh, I'm forgetting my mouse. So if you want to join me the same way that others were joining me yesterday, we're going to be doing that at the top of the month. Whatever day it lands on, we're going to do it at the top of the month, and then we can talk directly. It's going to be very informal. I will not be teaching anything. I will not be presenting anything formally. It'll just be a hangout, okay? Thank you for the likes, those of you who have hit it so far. The other thing is, my Bible study is finally going to happen. I'm excited to say it's going to happen this Thursday. She said, not a clue. I love that. So Bible study is going to happen on Thursdays at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. 5:30 Pacific Standard Time is 7:30 Central and 8:30 Eastern. And you know what? I'm actually going to Google, because that would make sense why there are less people watching the live, and they're going to be watching the replay if the game is still on. What is it called? Super Bowl? Like, what is it called? Let's see. I can't even tell. Oh, no, I think it's still going. Oh, it's on halftime. So this is like the big halftime show. I probably should check those things before I come on. Maybe push the game back a little bit. But hopefully the halftime show is enjoyable. But for those of you like me who don't watch sports, we're going to carry on, as usual. I can see the replay of the halftime show. It's not that big of a deal for me to watch it live. Okay. But Bible studies are Thursdays, so come on Thursdays. And the reason why I'm excited about the Bible study is because I think a lot of times people have either not read the scripture for themselves, or they haven't done a deep dive to where it's actually impacting their life and really changing. People who read the Bible with an open heart should have an absolutely transformed life. And so if you've been reading the Bible with an open heart and you haven't had a transformed life, I want to be able to help you and maybe unpack some things that maybe you didn't understand or didn't catch. So that's that. All right, so let's just get straight into these questions. The California team is winning right now. All right, so question number 1, I actually skipped question number 4. If you guys are paying really close attention last week, I skipped number 4 unintentionally. So I'm going to answer it now, and we'll just make it as question 1, which just reminded me that I need to hit this on here. Whoops. All right, so question number 1. I believe it was a he who said this. We are taught through culture and religion to look outwardly for acceptance, or at the very least approval. So how does one truly work to center themselves and shut outsides down? Excuse me. Now, culture, I definitely says look outward, but most religions talk about relying upon God to do the work within you, which then also is the solution. So I don't necessarily know when they're saying about religion, but I will just deal with what the question is. How does one truly work to center themselves and shut the outside down? I like to call the outside world the matrix, because it is full of messages. It's full of messages, and a lot of times we don't know the powers that be that are actually making the decision to make certain green light certain things. So, for example, if you're watching a show, what's the reason why there's so many negative shows as opposed to positive shows? You don't know who the decision maker is way down the line who's deciding a show, for example. So we are bombarded with messages. Sometimes they're positive, but a lot of times they are negative. Let's look at the news. The news is not like 90% feel-good stuff. Hey, did you hear about this heralding story of the man who saved his mom? Like, you're not going to get a ton of those stories. You're going to get the really traumatic, sad stuff that's really depressing, which is why a lot of people, myself included, stop watching the news. So the first thing to do is to disconnect. You should disconnect at least once a day, because there's a book. It's going to be backwards right now, but there's a book called The Untethered Soul. Try to tilt it so it doesn't have the glare. But it is such a good book. It's by Michael A. Singer. And he does such a good job painting with words how to get in touch with your spirit man. And this is a secular book. It's not a it's spiritual, but it's not a of God book, meaning we're talking about Jesus or anything like that. It's just talking about your spirit man. And so one of the illustrations that he gives is, he said, have you ever been watching a show and you got so into it, you kind of forgot you were watching a show because the visuals were so, intriguing, and the audio was just clicking and you're just there. But then you have a moment where you're like, oh, that's right, I'm sitting on a couch. It's because the audio and the visual is so powerful that sometimes you can lose yourself in it. That's why you can get scared in a horror film, because even though you know you're not actually in the scene, they do so many things to affect you in the real world. So, for example, they might blast the music, or they might turn it down really low to make it kind of creepy, or they might make something pop up on the screen. to where you jump. We've all had that little, what is that thing called? That little, what do you call, prank, where somebody sends you something and they're like, turn up the volume, and then, something jumps onto the screen. Even though your logical brain knows that it is a phone and therefore nothing can physically come out of your phone and harm you, your brain is so affected by it that in that split second, it cannot discern between reality and not reality. Does that make sense so far, what I'm saying? And he's like, that's just two senses. That's just your eyes and your ears. So he said, imagine if you can get lost in something that you can only see and hear. Imagine if you could taste it, smell it, touch it, and feel it in addition to that. What if you could experience this reality with all five of your senses? He said that would really be difficult to not lose yourself in it. He said, you yourself, you are the person experiencing it, the watcher, as some people call it. You are the entity, you are the being that uses eyeballs to see through. You're not the outer shell. The outer shell is just the encasing for that spirit. But because we can't see the spirit, we often dismiss the spirit and don't even tend to the spirit. We tend to the outer body. We take vitamins, we drink water, we eat food, we sunbathe, we bathe, we clip toenails, we cut hair. We tend to the outer because we're so attached with our five senses. But a lot of people don't know how to address their spirit man. So I say all that to say we have to unplug every single day. And that's why meditation works, even for people who are not religious, which I hate that word, but even people who do not believe in God will say that you need to unplug at least once a day. Basically what it is you're pulling yourself out of the matrix for a few minutes a day to remind yourself this isn't it. Like, this isn't all there is. What matters is how I feel, and it's a checking in to do a temperature check. How do I feel? Do I feel anxious? Do I feel angry? And when you start to do that inner work, that is when you can center yourself. You start to decide for yourself what you believe, and there are solutions for that. So without getting into, Bible stuff right now, because I'm going to save that for Bible study, but there are amazing things that you can do according to the Word of God to restore your peace, to restore your joy, and things like that. So I know I took a long time on that question, but it's a very good question, and it's something that can be really helpful to people. But we're going to be covering that exclusively in my Thursday night Bible study. So I just wanted to give at least enough to explain that background, okay? All right, so question number 2. So not last week, obviously, but the week before that, I was telling you that there was a group of coworkers, and the one coworker who follows me submitted a bunch of questions, and they were really good. They were some of your favorites. And I actually just remembered that last week, and I said I was going to do this. I posted the questions ahead of time as a preview. Completely forgot, but I'm going to do my best to remember next week, you guys, because it seemed like you like that. So here's the second question out of that batch. It's from a woman. She let me know which ones were from a guy and which ones were from a man. Guy and which ones were from a woman. So a woman said, I've been dating a guy for about 2 months. We're seeing each other consecutively once a week, and text almost daily. Hang on a second. Okay, I didn't realize I had asked. I had already answered that question, so my apologies. She said, we never discussed the relationship status. Do I assume we're boyfriend and girlfriend, or do we need to discuss it to make it official? My question last time was, do not assume anything. And also, I believe that the guy should take the lead, because to me, this is my opinion, I could be wrong, what I've seen when it comes to men with masculine energy, they're very, very quick to want to mark their territory. So once they make the decision that they want to be exclusive, they're going to let the woman know so that she's doing the same thing. So I feel like if he hasn't brought it up, that seems a little fishy, okay? So I just wanted to briefly answer that one because I'm pretty sure I went over that one last week. All right, so number 3, this is another question from a woman. Excuse me. I just realized why I messed up. I'm so sorry, guys. Hold on. Let me just delete this really quick. I posted the question twice. Okay, perfect. Okay, so this woman says, I've been seeing someone for a few months and I just learned this person does not have any friends. I find it odd that this person does not have one friend. Um, I'm sorry, guys. I'm reading these ones for the first time. My first two thoughts are either this person is a loner or the friends remove themselves from the picture for a reason. Is this a red flag or a warning flag? What do you guys think about that? I wish the comments weren't so delayed because I want to see what you guys had to say before I respond. I think that's a red flag. What do you guys like? No friend. Not she didn't say a few friends or hardly any friends. She said does not have any friends. So I feel like first of all that's a stretch because I don't know a human being who does not have any friends. I'm wondering if he's giving her like bamboozling her and he just doesn't want to introduce her to friends and so it's just easier to say he doesn't have friends. And I don't want to be that negative Nancy. Again, I don't want to speculate, but I was asked my opinion. That's my opinion. I find it highly suspicious dude saying he has no friends. Like you don't even have a coworker friend? That seems suspect. Like in life, I don't think I've ever seen somebody who didn't have any friends. Okay, so Karen's saying it sounds suspicious. Like, even if you have one friend, like not everybody has a ton of friends. That's a blessing to have a ton of friends. But even if you don't have a ton and you're like, oh, I don't feel very popular, you're gonna at least have one or two. Okay. So I don't know. What do you guys have to say, the rest of you? Karen said she thinks it's suspicious. I think it's highly suspicious. That's just odd. Um, okay, so question number 4. I can't believe I'm still fighting the same cold, y'all. So bear with me on my clearing of my throat, please. Number 4. Okay, so this woman asked. I just put her last question. Okay, so Tina is saying, which is it Nima, Nina or Nina? I think it's Nina. She's saying that's a red flag. Okay, so she said you say to have some dignity and block them because basically anytime a woman asks me for advice and the complaint is this guy is totally being disrespectful or not giving me the time of day, my response is always like, just block him. So if you keep entertaining that person, you can't continue to be a victim if you're entertaining it. So if he showed you his behind, as they would say, and you continue to entertain him, at that point, I really don't feel badly. So I must have told her to have some dignity and block them. And so she said, I feel we will get there eventually, but what to do with the shame that you feel after entertaining it for so long that you just feel stupid? Can you get your dignity back? Of course. You get, oh, Nina, thank you. Of course, you can get your dignity back instantly. Now, do you get your dignity back with them? That doesn't matter. But you get your dignity back the minute you realize you're doing something that's not dignified and you stop. So don't let the enemy fool you into thinking that, oh, I should carry my head low. I made a mistake. That's why I said, I don't care if you made every mistake in the world. Once you realize, once you know better, you should start to do better. And if you start to do better, you should feel good. Being present also spares you from kicking yourself about the past. Because guess what? You can't go back in time. You can only control what you do in the moment. Not even in the future, in the moment. In the moment, that's the only thing you have control over. Because you can purpose, oh, you know what? Next time I see him, I'm going to say sorry. You don't know if you're going to be there tomorrow, and you don't know if he's going to be there tomorrow. So really, all you can control is the now. So have some dignity now. Realize this guy is not treating me like a queen, and block him, and then have your dignity. So there you go. Okay, so number 5. Number 5. Okay, so she said also you see red flags, but how to know if you're cutting them off in a flash or if it's past triggers just triggering you. People are human after all. Just trust your gut? Question mark. So what she's saying is if you see a red flag, should you just quickly cut them off, or if it's a past trigger? I think that this question is the result of somebody not taking the time to decide what they like and don't like. When you go through the process, let me read her comment. She said, absolutely, I feel stupid for 9 years. I felt stupid for 9 years, But then I realized I allowed myself to go through that. I was in a depression and he took advantage of that. So, but now you don't, right? You, because I like there was a past tense you felt, but you don't feel stupid anymore, I would hope, now that you walked away or realized why you allowed it at that time. Um, but when you don't take the time to decide what you like for yourself, you're not going to feel confident. I'm going to use an analogy. I have this ruler right here. Okay, it's in a sleeve, so I don't know how well you can see it, but I have a ruler. A ruler is a ruler is a ruler. So 3 inches is going to be 3 inches no matter what day it is, no matter what time it is, no matter the weather, no matter what I'm wearing. 3 inches is 3 inches. This is my ruler by which I judge everything. So if I want to know if my cup is more than 12 inches or less than 12 inches, I just use my ruler. But I didn't make up a ruler every time I wanted to measure something. I have a pre-decided ruler and I can make a decision on it. Now, it's a little bit of a loose analogy because, the ruler is subjective, but it's going to be your ruler. You're going to decide if it works for you or doesn't work for you. The bots are here. Let me go ahead and get rid of them. Okay, so when you do the work ahead of time, you decide what is a deal breaker for you, what things are just things you want to be cautious about. You rank them so you can decide what your next step would be. So some things you're going to be like, pause, hard pause. And then the other things are going to be do not pass go. I love that. She said, no, I don't. I know now that I'm not stupid. I never was stupid. I was just learning. Yes, lessons complete. And now I've moved on. Lesson complete. And now I'm moving on. Yes. Okay. It's not a loss. It's a lesson. So this woman needs to decide for herself what it is. She needs to decide her deal breakers and the things that she has room to wiggle. But in those things that are wiggleable, you need to see how many other things make it worth it. So let's just say he has a couple of things that are an issue, but they're not deal breakers. You can say, but he has so many other great qualities that I'm dealing with this, or this one isn't that big of a deal. But you really are the only person who can determine that. So I would say that she needs to know, because right now she's questioning herself whether she should cut the person off. That should be something that 100%. And if it's something where you don't have hard and fast evidence, it's just like this feeling in your stomach. One of my good girlfriends said something that I've said many times because I loved it. She said, if your decision nets in you feeling peace, don't regret it when it comes to a guy. She said, if you have an uneasy feeling, you can just err on the side of caution and go with your peace. If you believe that what is meant for you will not be lost, you're not going to sweat your decisions anyway. Make sense? You can let something go. If it comes back, it's for you. So even if you let go of something, if it's truly meant for you, it will come back to you in a way that is clearly that it's for you. But I err on the side of letting it go. If I'm suspect about a guy, I'm like, I'd just rather not have to deal with it. No, I have not heard that word before. So no, I'm sorry, I don't. I like a man after God. What should I do to prepare my heart? I like him a lot. Remind me at the end if I have time, because I have a lot of questions today, and I usually try to stay within an hour. So depending on how these are going, I might be able to answer that at the end. But for those of you who are new, all the questions that I answer on my Sunday night live stream, I receive during the week. And then I answer in order that I get them. And I try to stick to 10 because that's about how much I can do in 1 hour. So I cannot guarantee if you ask it on the live that I will have time. But if you want to guarantee it gets on the live, then make sure you DM me during the week. Or if you do it today, I'll do it on the next show. Okay? All right, so let's get to question number 6. Question number 6, I would like to know, how does one become content with being single? I love this question. How does one make the most of one's single journey so you don't fall prey to the spirit of desperation? I love this. Now, this is going to be something that I will talk a lot more in my Bible study, because this is going to go into the spirit realm. By the way, guys, if everyone could smash that like button, that would be awesome. It lets YouTube know to push this video out to suggestions for more people. So if you like the content, you think other ladies and gentlemen would like it, go ahead and hit that like button. But you will have to leave the chat for just a second, just the chat, so you can get to that button and then come back in the chat, okay? She said, I love that question, right? It's a good one. I wish I had known it 10 years ago. So how does one become content with being single? Honestly, for me, it was a spiritual journey. The reason I say it was a spiritual journey is because I believe that the reason I wasn't enjoying it was because of a spiritual attack. I truly believe that in this, thank you for the likes. Um, I believe that, and I went over this in my live stream today in more detail. So if you guys go on my live stream, I'll talk about depression. But something led me to look up the word depression in Latin. Latin is where we got most of our English, if not all of our English from. So that's why when you break down prefixes and suffixes, it shows if you understand Latin, you can break down any word. But anyway, in Latin, the word depress, I wish I had it right here in front of me because I was taking notes frantically. Depress means to put down, to push down. But it's not just a simple like, oh, a little press. It's a striking, okay? It is it is a striking down. One of the likes just went away. I guess someone didn't like that last point. And then they just left the live stream. That's funny. Anyway, it's a pressing down in the spirit realm. And so got me all flustered with that. Sorry, guys. They're distracted rather. The definition of depression is to push down and is a strike. It is not a soft, gentle thing. It's something that's very aggressive. And so I don't think it's a coincidence that the language, this is like from the really far in, I don't remember the year, but really far, really long time ago, that definition was given. And I think that over recent years, we have lost a lot of true meanings of words because the Webster's dictionary or whatever keeps changing what they mean. But the original language, that's what depression meant, to be pushed down. So if in the spirit realm I am being pushed down by a dark force, then I need to go to the spirit realm to resolve what's happening in the spirit realm. Does that make sense? So what I did was I realized this was something that was not normal. This wasn't like oh, I wish I had a guy. Oh, it'd be nice to have a man. It wasn't that. And what's worse is that I was married for half of the time and still feeling this spirit of depression. Right. If you think about the terminology, we say, I'm feeling down. What is that? Why would we say down? Because we're pushed down. It literally feels like we can't stand upright. We're being pushed down. We're being weighed down by these forces. And when I have had that spirit lifted off of me, at one point I prayed and I physically felt a lift come off of me. It felt like I equated it to that heavy blanket that firefighters use when they come to an accident scene, or when you're at the dentist office, they put that really heavy vest on you to keep you from, having the x-ray stuff, penetrate to your organs or whatever. I felt a lifting off of me and I was like, whoa. And in the Bible, it says the spirit of heaviness. And I was like, that is the best description. I had a spirit of heaviness. And she said, that's why it's hard to do simple day-to-day tasks when depressed. Exactly. I couldn't wash dishes. I couldn't do anything. You're like, I told somebody, it's like you're walking around with huge bags on your back, like, Santa Claus style bags, but you have like all these bags and you're expected to run the race. It's really hard to do normal tasks. She said, I bond by it. You were bound by it and couldn't do anything. Yes, it's really demonic. It's scary when you really think about it. Oh, I was bound by it. Yeah. So, and the thing is like, I know a lot of people don't believe in the spirit realm, but my thing is, just because you don't believe in it.
Sorry guys, I didn't have these things charged up, so I'm gonna let them charge a little bit. So I don't know if the sound sounds any better. Oh, she said I couldn't eat. Oh yes, she couldn't eat. So hopefully the sound is okay. I wanted to see if the quality was better with my AirPods versus my mic, which is farther away. But even if someone doesn't believe, that doesn't mean it's not happening. And so for me, I've had too many encounters. I've had too many things to happen for anyone to tell me that what I don't believe is true. Because for me, it works. When I sought God, I I had a massive improvement spiritually. So Tina says it sounds better. What do you guys think? She says she didn't have her cycle for months. Wow, depression can make you sick. Yes, 100%. And there is a neuroscience scientist, I believe her name is something Leaf. I think Carolina Leaf. Thank you, God. And she's a believer, but she has looked into actual um, scientific proof that the way that you think and the way that you feel affects your actual physical body. Not only does it affect your physical body, but there is like a marker that if you're going to live longer, it's a longer whatever they measure, it's longer, and if you're going to live shorter, it's shorter. And they were testing people when they were stressed out, it got shorter, and when they had joy, it got longer. So it wasn't permanent like cutting a string. Well, once you cut it, you cut it. It was depending on how you feel, your life was growing or shrinking, your lifespan. So you literally will live longer. And there are certain verses that says that your days may be long. So all these scripture verses that you just kind of have faith in believing, science is now catching up and saying, yeah, that's actually possible. You are what you think. And all these, natural quotes are actually rooted in God's word. Okay. So if you just stick to the source, we're going to be light years ahead of technology, science, everything. They're going to catch up way later. We're like, we've been talking about that. It says in Romans. Okay. We just did it by faith because we didn't have the science to back it up. But a lot of times we have the proof in our own lives. So my journey was, this is why I was depressed. So if you understand, so I explained that I was depressed because I had a spirit on me, but the spirit had room to come in because I had left a door open. You guys might be saying, oh man, I love that. She said it's about to be all smiles from now on. No, for real, for real. And I want to come back to that comment because it's so true. There's always a way to stay positive, even in situations. And that's part of what I'm teaching my Bible today, so I'm going to stay on track. But y'all, there is a way that you can do that, despite your circumstances. But the way that I left a crack open was because my heart wasn't utterly full with the Lord. So you guys, I always use my water as examples. I broke my other one that's clear, so it's harder to see with this one with this band on it. But our spirits, from what I understand, have a capacity. And let's just say this is a 20-ounce capacity. If my own personality, which is my spirit, if my own personality is, how do you say this? My own personality is here, and there's extra room. There's always extra room for something else. And so if the enemy is able to come in, he is going to infuse with my spirit, and it's going to depress me. So the only way to get that negative out is to put more God in. If God fills you so much that you're filled to the top, and this happens through spiritual encounters, meditation, and prayer, when he fills you to the top, there's no capacity left. There's no capacity left. The devil can't get in even if he wanted to. So when we don't have God, we're just at this deficit, and you know what black holes are? They're going to get filled. When you have that black hole in your spirit, the enemy rightfully can come in. If I leave my door open, someone can walk in. Now, legally, are they supposed to? But, I mean, I left the door open. So, people are going to do what they're going to do. And in the spirit realm, it's the same thing. And she's saying, same, she opened a door. So, for me, mine started at childhood. And so I'm still discovering this, but I do believe that some things are generational curses because sins of the forefathers. That's biblical. It's not my opinion. I'm reading in Deuteronomy where the Lord says, I will forgive you, but some sins are going to be carried out to up to 3 generations. That's Bible. Okay. So the thing is though, even if you have a generational curse, here comes the but God. Even if you have a generational curse, you can still flush out and lock your door. Okay? So just because he's been there and operating, and maybe you inherited it, like you can inherit your mom's asthma or something, just because you inherit that spirit doesn't mean that spirit gets to live there. you feel your spirit all the way up. So those of you who are listening, because this isn't a sexy conversation, but it's an important conversation. Those of you who are listening, you're getting the wisdom of God from the scripture. I'm teaching from the scripture, not my opinion. He's teaching you how to keep yourself protected. Okay? So if you don't want to feel a spirit of depression, you don't want him to be able to hang out on your back, you go over his head and you go to the one who's more powerful than him. Okay? I wanted to spend a little time on that one because that one's a really big deal. Oh, I know who this one is from because there's only one person who calls me that sweet name. So sweet. He said, hey, little sis. He said, I've been getting a lot of female attention lately from coworkers to former classmates, blah, blah, blah. I connected with this young lady recently and I'm into her and she appears to be as equally into me. She also reached out to me first. Here's my thing. She said, your affirmation reel about attracting and not chasing has been spot on for me and in more ways than just entertaining new connections. I'm from the old school, biblically, where I believe the man is to chase, court. You go, boy. Chase or court. Now, don't get me wrong. After she expressed interest, I took it from there, LOL. What are your thoughts when it comes to courtship and the whole attract, not chase ideal? Should that only be applicable to women? I appreciate your feedback. So I'm going to respond to this question and then, Tina, I'm going to answer your question, okay? So the chasing part, it applies to both genders, but in a different way. So the chasing from the sense of pursuing a woman is fine. However, it becomes a chase when there is a struggle. And what I mean by that is when it's not happening organically. Ladies, you all know when a man has come on to you and you are not feeling him and you're giving him signs like you're not interested and he's not catching it, or he makes a joke about it and it's like, well, I'm just going to come harder. I'm just going to keep trying, and he's trying to change your mind. I think there's a difference. The chasing for a man, this is my opinion. This is not Bible. This is my opinion now. My opinion is that when a man is trying to change a woman's mind about her attraction to him, because you can't control that, that is when it becomes chasing. Or when he's trying to change her mind. Maybe she is attracted, but she's saying, no, I don't want to date right now, or whatever. If you're trying to change her mind in order to date her, I don't feel like that's God's timing. Either she's not the one, or it's not the time for her. Because I believe that if that was a divine connection, you would pursue her and she would be reciprocating. So that seems out of order that, that a person is not giving you the green light back. So to answer your question, I don't feel like normal pursuit is an issue. I don't think that's you chasing and not allowing to happen. Men are intended to be that masculine energy. They need to go out and do. So we wouldn't get anywhere if they didn't do that. But again, it's that discernment between, is she feeling me and reciprocating and giving me, like, call them those airport indicators, like, yes, you're on the right page, or is she not? If she's not, you might need to move on. And Stephanie is saying he needs to pray too. 100%. 100%. I think that we should be prayerful about everything. Lord, I'm about to pursue this woman. I want to, shoot my shot. Please let me know that this is what I'm supposed to do. So Trina, I'm going to go back to your question now. Stephanie says the enemy can't live in a forgiving heart. Ooh, I like that. So Tina says, how do I know what the curse is? Can I ask God to show it to me and get rid of it? Of course. So the thing is that I don't think that, oh, that's sweet. Sorry. The rule is women are to present but not pursue, and the man is to pursue but not persuade. I'm going to write that down. I like that. Present. Is that an original, or you heard someone else say that? That's really cool. Present, not pursue. And that's the woman. And the man is supposed to pursue, not persuade. It's really good. It's clever. As far as the curse, for me, I would ask the Lord to reveal to you anything that is not pleasing within you. So for me, he revealed to me, oh, my buddy Lateris. Oh, I like that. Okay, I'm about to text him. That was awesome because I really like that. For me, when I realized what was happening, the Holy Spirit just revealed to me, you are idolizing men. It's idolatry. You're idolizing men. So for me, the spirit of desperation for a man came from the fact that I was worshiping that relationship. So in my mind, there was a place in my heart that was designated for a man alone. And that basically was an altar in my heart. It was worshiping this idea that one day, we call it hopeless romantic. But think about that term. That's why I put air quotations around it in my bio on IG. Hopeless romantic. Like, even the phrase gives it away. Why not be a hopeful romantic? Because it's a desperation. You want it more than anything. It drives you. It makes you do ridiculous things that you would never otherwise do. That's where it starts to be in murky territory. So if you are feeling something and you feel like it's a spiritual attack, you ask God to show you what it is in your heart that needs to be removed. And if there's nothing that needs to be removed, you could just ask him to remove, either way, ask him to remove that spirit. But also I like to double down and say, is there anything in me? So there's a Bible verse that says, search my heart, O God, and search my heart and know my thoughts and see if there be any, I think it's unclean way in me. It's basically saying, just search me and see if there's anything that I'm doing that's not pleasing. And then he will reveal that to you, because our hearts are very deceitful to the point we don't even know it. So even if we in good conscience are like, I don't think there's anything in my heart, if you specifically ask him to show you, he will show it to you. And you'll be like, oh, dang, I didn't even realize that. And one of the best ways that he shows you what you need to work on is the mirror effect. When you are triggered by something, note what it is that triggers you, and that's your Achilles heel. So right now, I'm going to confess this before all of you. I have been getting triggered so much this past week with the spirit of pride. I have encountered so many people who have been super, super prideful to the point where I'm like, bleh. And he's like, so that's your issue. And I'm like, dang, Lord, I'm doing this stuff and I'm worshiping you and I'm having devotions every morning and I'm in my Bible every day. And he's like, and it's there. What can I tell you? And I'm like, dang. So the enemy wanted to, condemn me and make me feel bad. But the Lord is like, no, you don't need to feel bad about it. Just fix it. I'm like, okay. So now I try to be really cautious with what I'm saying. Why am I saying this? Am I trying to just, have my way? Am I choosing to not say this because of pride? I'm trying to be very aware of it. I think there was another question. No, I think that was it. Okay, so let's get to number 8. Perfect. Okay, number 8. I'm in a relationship with my boyfriend of 5 years. We have lived together for 5 years. I've been through a lot with him. From repeatedly cheating, physically and emotionally, to being embarrassed by him, running to my family, telling our business, to him watching me struggle. We're no longer intimate. Now he tells me that he's done all of this because he was depressed and he has been trying to do right. He is doing everything I've been asking for him for the past 5 years. But I want to appreciate it, but I don't. And I really don't want to hurt him. He has gotten much better with my daughter and she's very fond of him as well. I'm not sure how to go about having a peaceful breakup or if I should. Ooh, man. So there's this meme that I was going to put up and I've been contemplating doing it. And it says, every time someone asks me relationship advice, I'm like, break up. And I was going to post it joking. But the reason why it's funny to me is because when someone is not married, a lot of times I'm like, you're not married, so just break up. Like, just start fresh. Start fresh. But I want to be godly in my advice. The reason why I'm thinking out, what I am thinking out, which I will say out loud, is a lot of times it's this fine balance, you guys. A lot of times, what we practice. Yes, I'll read it again. What we practice during dating is exactly what we do during marriage. It's like saying what you do at practice, you're going to do in the game. Dating is basically practice. And a lot of times people practice divorce. Y'all catch that? A lot of people practice divorce. When the going gets tough, they get going. So when they get to the marriage, that's what they've been doing for the last 20 years. The going gets tough, I'm out. So especially if the woman has her finances together and she can, because at least back in the day they couldn't because they just didn't have the finances, she can leave. So she's like, I'm out. A lot of guys don't stay because they know they're going to get slapped with that support, so they'll stay and maybe have an affair, or they'll just emotionally check out or whatever, which is, to me, just as bad. But let me read it again. She asked me to read it again. She's in a relationship with her boyfriend of 5 years, and they have lived together for 5 years. She's been through a lot with him. He repeatedly cheated physically and emotionally. And he embarrassed her by running to her family, telling all of their business. And to him, she said, oh, and also he watched her struggle. I don't know what that means exactly. They're no longer intimate. And now he's saying the reason he was acting so unloving was because he was depressed, and now he's trying to do right. Okay? So allegedly he have a conviction, and he wants to turn it around. She says, okay, if they're not married, she should leave. He's not going to respect her any more than he does now, when he feels like she can't just, that's so interesting. That's an interesting perspective. You're saying, like, in the natural, he might not respect her because she's put up with it. See, this is why I say this is a very delicate thing, because, I feel like it kind of could go either way. This could be a test. You could, maybe you pull back, because a dating relationship should be just getting to know each other. So thank God they're not being intimate anymore. Maybe that's what allowed him to see the error of his ways, because now you're, because God's not going to bless your situation if you're fornicating. But if she's thinking about leaving, and I might be leaning towards agreeing with you, Tina, because she's saying, I'm not sure how to go about having a peaceful breakup, because it's not necessarily about a peaceful breakup, but it's about your sanity when you're single. So she really loves him. She could say, I'm not going to abandon you perhaps, but I can't be with you in the capacity of a dating relationship, a romantic relationship, because I'm too scarred. So let me see if I can heal before. It really is up to her capacity, because if she has God's love in her, God's love exceeds all normal human emotions, and he can allow you to forgive and all this, but she doesn't seem like she's over the pain. So I like what CJ's saying. If she's really invested, maybe they can get counseling and then get clarity, because it's one thing for the person to say they're going to change, but she is saying that he's doing all these things, but to see long term. And the other thing is that a deal breaker for you? Meaning, can you be with someone that has cheated on you emotionally and physically? Even if it's for that reason, is that going to always be in the back of your mind? Are you going to always make him pay for it? So I feel like there are too many variables that make it too hard to call. Tina says, no sex and no intimacy are not the same. Yes, 100%. That's true. And if she's worried about having a peaceful breakup, then it shows she knows he still doesn't care about her needs. Ooh. Because a sacrificial thing would be for him to say, I know I don't deserve you. Let me just work on myself. Is that, yeah. Ooh. Okay, come through, studio audience. Okay. I love it when you guys chime in and give your thoughts. I love it. Okay, number 9. Are women and some men seeking hidden validation based on the number of selfies or reels they post on Instagram, Facebook, etc.? And if so, what type of validation are they seeking? First of all, the answer is yes. Nobody posts anything for no reason. Okay? So the only exception would be if someone's trying to teach. I feel like if someone's doing something for business, it's not for likes. Even as a coach myself, I post things to help people. Does it feel good if a bunch of people like it? Yeah. But I'm doing it to help people. So if I'm being effective, that's more important to me. So I would take the business accounts out of it. But aside from business accounts, when people post stuff, they're posting it to get a reaction. And I'm not going to say it's a bad thing, but it is. It's to get a reaction. You want to either flex, or you want to, or if it's like you're connecting with your family, you're sharing the things that you like about your life, and you want to connect with people on that level. So I'm trying to be careful not to use negative words, but I might post pictures of my kids. But I'm proud of my kids, and I want the world to see them. So I guess maybe it's a validation thing. I don't know. But when I post to my private page, it's so my family could see, because a lot of my family members don't see them all the time. So it's a chance to kind of share what's happening. But to the point that this person is making, there are definitely some accounts where it looks extremely thirsty. The reason why I say that is because these women are leading with sexual energy, sensuous energy. To me, there's a difference between you posting a picture like, I'm so excited I sold my first house, or proud of so-and-so, she got this, diploma at school, or this award. It's different. I love that. She said, even if you're just showing your growth, you're posting it for a reason. Yeah. So, but the women who are leading with sexual energy and the men who are being very show-offish, that I do feel like is validation. I feel like it's a cry for attention. And the type of validation, those people who are leading with sex and leading with money, to me, that is their identity. I need to feel like I am sexy, because that translates to my spirit as love, which is a perversion of it, because that's not love. That's somebody drooling. And if you really knew what those men were doing when they clicked that heart, you wouldn't be flattered. There's some disgusting things that men are doing. Like, it's literally their free stimulation, shall we say. So that's not love, and it's not validating. You're just saying you caused a guy to get stimulated, but we talked about this. You can be totally covered up and still stimulate him. So it's not this big feat to think that you could be sexually provocative, scantily clad, and get a man aroused. That's not, anybody could do that. Anybody could do that. So hopefully that answers the question. Okay. There was another question. I don't know why I told myself to go to Instagram to read this one instead of copying and pasting it. Oh, maybe it had a graphic. Okay, so let me go open it really quick and see what the question was. Thank you guys for being patient with me. All right, what was her question? Oh, she must have changed her account name. Okay, so I'm just going to say this. The person whose name ends with Royal Princess, your question, I cannot see it. So, yeah, unfortunately, I can't answer that question. So I tried. Okay, so let me get back to my questions. So this was supposed to be number 10. So I'm just going to move on to number 10. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm so out of it today. I had a real draining situation right before this, and I feel like my energy is super low. So I apologize if it's coming across in the live stream. Okay, so number 10, I find that I attract either younger or much older men. Ideally, I would prefer to attract someone who is up to 10 years older. I'm 40. How do I attract a guy in my preferred age bracket? Honestly, if you're on a dating app, obviously you can change your preferences. That's the easy answer. But if it's in person, I would just change where I'm going. So if I'm going clubbing and stuff, you're probably not going to find a lot of guys in their 40s and 50s. Or if you do, you don't want the guy who's clubbing in 40s and 50s. You're probably going to want to go somewhere different. Go to like a cigar lounge. Probably go to, a quieter sporting establishment, like a venue where they're showing the game, not necessarily the game itself. Go to a golf. Golf attracts older men, so maybe go to a driving range or a country club. I would just change the places where you would go, because you can't control who you attract. Like you can't make younger people not be attracted to you, but you can up the probability of meeting the type of guy that you want to attract. Thank you. Thank you, Tina. I appreciate that. So that was my answer to number 10. Pretty short and sweet. And we're almost at the top of the hour. Okay, so let me hurry. So I do have another question, but I'm just going to take these off because I usually only do 10, so I only have 10 graphics. Thank you for the extra like. I appreciate that. Number 11, if anyone wants to keep track, there is a guy I want to approach on Instagram, but I'm wondering if that would be wise to do. I would not. It depends how you approach him. And we're going to go back to what Latera said, present, don't pursue. So I would just engage. I would just engage on his page if you want to be seen, because he doesn't know you exist from a hole in the wall. So just engage on his post. And usually if somebody comments a couple times in a row on a few pictures, that's going to get someone's attention if you go back to back. I know it's a little weird, but if that person has a really, 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 really big following, you just liking a comment or a picture or whatever, it can get lost in the shuffle. There's like, when you get a lot of notifications, they'll lump 50 people in once. Like 50 people like this picture. Hey, 50 people like this. It's not like one line, this person liked this photo. Next line, this person liked this photo. They clump them all together because it's just too much to go through. So don't just think, oh, just like. Make comments that are kind of deep, beyond just like, oh, looking great. Say something interesting. Oh, wow, you're into such and such. And I would do maybe like 3 or 4 back to back to get his attention online. That's my thought. Okay. I'm going to get to number 12, which was Asia's question at the top of the hour. Thank you for being patient. She said she wanted a Valentine's Day gift idea. Asia, are you still watching? Because if you are, I have a couple of qualifying questions that you can help me with. She said, I want to make something for my best friend for Valentine's Day. What should I make her? I'm sorry. I'm rereading this now. It's your best friend who is a girl. So Asia, if you're here, comment. There is a delay. So if you already commented, it's going to take me a second to be able to see it. Because you guys get it when it's delayed. And then when I see it in real time. So it takes a second. But hopefully Asia can let me know. Someone else had asked a question. And since we're doing pretty good on time, we're only a few minutes over. Actually, with 2 minutes left. Let me go find that question that somebody just asked. Do you guys remember what that question was? Asia's here, she said. And whoever asked your question earlier, please re-comment it now so it goes to the bottom. All right, so you are a woman and you are asking for Valentine's Day advice for your female best friend. Is that what you're saying? Let me clarify. The delay is so awkward. But whoever asked that first question, I'm actually going to scroll and see what that question was if I can find it. That's wild. I can't find that question now. But I remember seeing one and asking people. Yes, and her name is Ava. That's sweet. Okay, so this basically would be like the equivalent of getting a birthday gift, I'm assuming. It's like the same as if you're just getting your buddy a birthday gift. Okay, so I had mentioned that you guys could give her ideas, so chime in. It's a woman wanting to get her female best friend a Valentine's Day gift, which is sweet. I'm assuming she's not going to get one from a guy, so that's sweet. I've actually never heard of someone giving their buddy a Valentine's Day gift, but that's very sweet. I would say with gifts, just rule across of the board is that the more you study that person, the better gift you can give. So if you notice that she's always reading, maybe you get her a Kindle, or maybe you get her a gift certificate for books. Or maybe you get her like a device that goes by her bed that allows her to read, like a reading light. Maybe you get a device that actually, like I've seen ones that clip onto the books to be a light. So if you pay attention to that person, then you're going to know what to give that person. So if you think that she is into self-care and she likes to pamper herself, maybe you gift her with a spa gift certificate, or you treat her to the spa. um, and also experiences are nice too. You could say, hey, I'm going to go treat you to get your nails done, I'll go with you. You can give her an experience. um, I'm trying to think, but what kinds of stuff is she into? How does she spend her free time? What stuff gets her excited as far as like activities and pastimes? What is something that she's really, really into? Because I just feel like it's really hard to suggest a gift for a person if I don't know them. So that's really, really tough. But come through with the suggestions, you guys. Someone has said charcuterie box. Someone else said cheesecake. Y'all make me hungry. But comment what you think would make a really good gift. And then I'm going to close here, you guys. I'll see if anyone else comments in the next, minute or so. But just as a reminder, as I started out at the top, Thursday nights are going to be Bible study at 7:30. 5:30 Pacific Standard Time, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern Time. And make sure you're on my email list if you want to come to the Bible study, because I'm still debating if I want to do just straight up a Zoom call and then it's private, or if I'm going to do a broadcast, a live stream broadcast, and just have it on YouTube. So I'm debating. So either way, make sure that you're on my email list so that when I do decide, you'll know before Thursday where to find the live video. Okay, because it'll either be live on Zoom for the Zoom platform or live on YouTube in the YouTube platform. She loves to dance. Ooh. Do you think that she would like a dance lesson? What if she got a private dance lesson? Or the two of you took a dance lesson together. What if you arranged that? That could be fun. Even like pole dancing. A lot of people like to do a workout that's a pole dancing workout. But if she likes to dance, maybe you guys take a salsa class or something, and then you find a salsa club in your area, and then the next week you go to the salsa. Yeah, exactly. She said pay for personal dance training. That would be cool. I'll never forget, my best friend got me the best gift, and it was an assorted gift basket that was handmade. And as she was pulling each thing out of the gift bag, she was explaining why she got each thing. It was so cool. Like, she paid attention to what my favorite ocean spray was, because I used to always drink this cran grape ocean spray. So there was a little cran grape ocean spray. She got me a notepad and a pen, a really pretty one. I think it was a couple of them. She's like, because you're so creative and you're always coming up with ideas, you can keep this one in your car. And I was like, that's so cute. And I think it's still in my car to this day. She knows I have very sensitive eyes. Like, I cannot even walk outside to get my mail. I have to have sunglasses on. My eyes are really sensitive. Every childhood photo that was taken outside, I'm like this, because I just can't open my eyes with the sun. So she got me like 3 pairs of sunglasses, and none of these things were expensive on their own, but it was like, dang, you know me so well. She got my favorite candy bar, and she put it all together. So to me, if you can get something that's closer to, I love that I'm a gift giving specialist. I love that. I get really overwhelmed by gifts because I'm like, I don't want to get the wrong thing. I want it to be awesome. So I'm the type of person who will give a gift card in a heartbeat, because I'm like, I know you're not going to mess up. You're going to buy something awesome. So I tend to, if I don't know them really, really well, I'll just give cash or a gift card. I can make her something from the dollar store and get some of her favorite things. That's really sweet. And do what my best friend did. Explain how everything is something that makes you think of her. Like, I know you like wine, and you could even take a wine glass. And my friend did this, a different friend. She got a wine glass and put a cute little message in like puffy paint or something. But like, oh, I know you love wine, so here's this. I know you like whatever, get her this. Sometimes it can be those fun little gifts. like those as seen on TV. Maybe it's stuff that you would never buy yourself because you're like, I don't really need to spend my money on this. But they could be fun little gadgets that are really nice to use. Like, for example, I have this case and it's charging my phone right now. And you just push this little button in the back. Maybe someone else wouldn't have bought themselves a charger, but let's say you know her phone dies a lot. You could buy her this and she'd be really appreciative. Of course, you have to know what kind of phone she has to work. But sometimes, for me, I love practical gifts. Sometimes people give me gifts and it just sits on the shelf, and now I feel like anxiety because I have extra stuff in my house that I'm not using. So I don't like. I try to keep my goods down to a minimum. So if you can give me something that I will actually use on a regular basis, it makes me think about you every time I use it. I just texted my buddy. He did what is it called? Instacart. And so one of the times that he had passed by, he had the Instacart bag. Oh, because he went and picked up groceries. Oh my God, it was so sweet. When I herniated my disc in my back in March, I couldn't walk. And so he and his niece came by and yeah, exactly. I hopefully deleted them. His niece came and went shopping for me. Man, I was crying. I was just so grateful that someone did that. But he's like, oh, you can just keep the bag. And that bag has been awesome. I use it. I go walk to the grocery store and I use it. So every time I see that bag, even though it's such a practical thing, I think about my buddy and it's really cool. If you know she has something at home she wants to replace, oh, that's good. Or you can get her that. I like that. Like an old toaster she keeps complaining about. You are good at this gift thing, ma'am. Yeah, like if it's an upgrade. So maybe she already has, TV is obviously a bigger purchase, but maybe she already has a TV, but you want to upgrade her. Or maybe she has a TV, but she doesn't have the little device because those are inexpensive. I think for $30, I got the little device. I don't know why I'm putting it in my phone. I got the device that attaches to your TV. That's not a smart TV. That makes it a smart TV. So now I can cast my whatever I'm watching on my phone, I can cast it to my TV. It's really, really cool. So like that would just have tickled me pink if somebody got that for me. Like, that's so cool. I'm always watching YouTube videos, so now I can watch it on my TV. Because my TV is old and I'm not going to replace my TV if it works fine. All right, guys. So I know I went 7 minutes over, but Fire Stick. Yeah, it's a version of a Fire Stick. But yes, it's a casting device. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you. I adore you guys. And I'm not going to lie, I'm a little spoiled going back to the old school way where I just talk to the camera. When I got my fix yesterday, seeing you guys' faces, it's so much easier. But remember, at the top of the month, the first week of the month, the first show of the month, I am going to have you guys come on, whoever wants to come on camera. And if you want to, Chromecast, thank you. If you guys want to come on camera, let me know. And if you want to be on, but you don't want to be on camera, you can do that as well. Like on Zoom, you just don't open your video option and I can hear you just fine. Some people did that and it was totally fine. Okay, guys? So let me know in the comments if that's something that you would be interested in doing, having that be monthly. I know CJ was here. She jumped on. That was really cool meeting her. And now when I see her name in the comments, I totally have a face to go with it and a personality. So it's really, really nice to be able to connect with you guys. So I look forward to connecting with you guys that way once a month. Okay? All right. This is where I'm closing out. I hope you guys have a beautiful, beautiful week. And until next time, tell someone that you love them.